In the hinterland of Ragama is a small chapel dating back to 1911, built when a few Catholics, together with the parish priest of the area, erected a small chapel of the Lady of Lourdes. In 1917, a small grotto was added on a side, and subsequently the church was expanded to accommodate the increasing number of pilgrims. In 1940, Archbishop Jean-Marie Mosson made a vow that if Sri Lanka remained unharmed after the World War, he would build a basilica. These are the origins of the National Basilica of Our Lady of Lanka in Thewatte, Ragama. The land around the basilica was bought from a local family and originally was called Orange Hill Estate. However, unfortunately, Archbishop Mosson was unable to see his vision through, and it was his successor, Archbishop Cooray, who saw the construction of the basilica through to its fruition. The basilica was built on the plans of Father Hectares, who decided to incorporate elements of an Indian temple into the architecture. The front view of the basilica is in the shape of an Indian temple with twin towers on either side, symbolizing the love of God and the love of our neighbor. The front of the basilica has the cross with the figure of Christ in bronze and was created by the renowned local artist Lilanga Wallace. The top cross on the dome rests on a triple pedestal and has 3 horizontal bars like those found on a Greek Oriental cross. The impressive front facade of the basilica has 6 granite pillars representing the 6 dioceses at the time of war. The sides of the basilica also have bronze relief sculptures depicting the history of Christianity in Sri Lanka. The basilica has 3 sections which pilgrims can observe Mass. The 4th section leads to the section where the statue of Our Lady of Lanka is installed, and the Holy of Holies. The statue of Our Lady of Lanka was created based on the statue of Our Lady of Fatima from Portugal. It differs from that because it has infant Jesus in her arms. The view from above the basilica creates a sign which all Catholics can relate to. The centerpiece at the main altar is a large undressed block of granite brought in from a quarry at Kirimatiyagara. The Holy of Holies contains the tabernacle, meeting identical measurements to the one in the Old Testament. The tabernacle is flanked by 2 angels on either side. There is a beautiful chapel below the main level, the Blessed Sacrament Chapel, and also is the location of the crypt where Cardinal Cooray lies buried. The chapel and the crypt are open year-round for Eucharistic adoration. Outside the basilica, the spacious gardens and grounds have a myriad of features and locations for one to imbue. The meandering pathways winding among lush trees, which were planted by Cardinal Cooray, who was a proficient botanist, creates a quiet aura. Numerous varieties of trees such as nar, mahogany, kumbuk and korumba provide shade and respite for the pilgrims who come, some from very distant locations. Following a pathway with depictions of the last days and moments of Christ before crucifixion leads one to the new grotto. The grotto was created by blasting the rock and using the stone to build sections of the basilica. On completion in 1959, the grotto was opened. At the entrance, there is a piece of rock from the original grotto of Lourdes. The new chapel of Our Lady of Lourdes has been built just above the grotto. One needs to access a number of steps to reach the chapel, and the building is modelled on the architecture of the original chapel and grotto in Lourdes. Here too, pilgrims spend a quiet moment in reflection after crossing a water feature, which is a symbolic act of cleansing. The grounds of the basilica also have a lake, The water in it is sourced from a natural spring. There is also a museum and heritage centre. The entrance has 2 statues of St. Joan of Arc and the Good Shepherd. The museum, designed by Father Anselm de Cruz, contains various artefacts collected over the last century. One notable artefact is the chair, which the Pope used during his visit. The Basilica and its spacious gardens provide a haven for many pilgrims who pass through and attend Mass. Today, the trees and flowers of this parkland most often makes pilgrims sit outside to enjoy the proceedings, which can be followed from any corner while being one with nature. The Cardinal Massoun's vow and Cardinal Cooray's dream came into being after the basilica was completed and the vow fulfilled. The hopes of all Sri Lankan Christians were realized as Mary Immaculate was crowned as Our Lady of Lanka, and the basilica rises above the Ragama skyline as a beacon for all its followers.